All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you did not have the season you wanted this year, now is the time to get after it and figure out why. Come up with some strategies, some post-season hunting strategies. You know, off-season is key. So I've got Mr. Ryan Dole here back again after a successful season, and that's what we're covering, the post-season strategies, you know, how to win the off-season and set you up in a good position for the following season, because realistically it starts now.
Yeah.
Right?
It does. Like I said in that last podcast, my season starts when deer season. Hunting them is over. Then it's just in the woods trying to figure out where they're at.
So that's one of the things, though, that's kind of hard for people, though, because, you know, you hunt so hard the whole season. Then by the end, you're like, dude, I'm burnt, man. I don't feel like getting up early or being out in the woods anymore. And I think that's one of the things that we see with all you guys that are super successful as, one, it doesn't seem like you guys burn out, which I don't know how.
I do. Trust me.
Do you?
I 100% burn out. But, like, I have such, like, a dedication inside of me that, like, there's like two sides. There's that side I just want to be like, I'm going to sleep in today. I'm not going to do it. And then I just will keep pestering myself. Like, you got to get up. You got to go. You got to go. You got to go. And eventually it's just like, all right, you're going.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's the way you got to will yourself into it sometimes. But always whenever you get out there, you're like, yeah, it was worth it.
Yes, every time. I just have to get to my truck. And then once I start driving, then the gears start turning. It's like, okay, we're going into some game time. We're gonna figure something else new today.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, if you can will yourself into it, get it going, then you're already there. You might as well keep with it.
But yeah, I mean, this time of year is my favorite. I absolutely love finding sheds, and it's just an excuse to get in the woods. 2, there's no snakes. That's my biggest thing. I love getting some of the thick stuff, but like when that temperature's too warm, I'm just not in it.
Dude, Eastern North Carolina, man, I mean, you're right. This is a good time of year to be in the woods. I mean, 1, you can see everything's kind of died off. You can see a greater distance. And then 2, the things that we battle is mosquitoes, snakes, and spiders. And you don't have that this time of year.
Don't have it.
Amazing.
It's like, it reminds me of the North. Like this time of the year, maybe it's just that's why I'm always out there. But you don't have to worry about all this insects like you just said. None of it. You can go out there, explore, not have to worry about having 100 ticks on you.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Ticks. Yeah, chiggers. And, you know, funny enough, this morning, I feel like this is like our first true frost.
Yes.
We are middle of January right now. And,
it's a late year.
And North Carolina, like the entire hunting season, like no frost. January 19th, we got frost this morning.
Yeah. It's good, though.
It is good.
We needed some colder weather during the season.
Well, yeah, that's one thing you can only wish for around here. It's a hope and a prayer. It's like every third year.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. I mean, the last real true snow we had was like, I think it was back in 2018.
Yeah.
We had like 6 to 10 inches for like 2 weeks or something that stayed.
Yeah. No, that sounds about right. But this applies to anywhere you go, right? Whether it's Eastern North Carolina, where it's in the southeast or whatnot, up north, your tactics don't change when it comes to postseason.
Absolutely do not. The key to finding the deer is finding where the food is at, their food source. And I've noticed, like, specifically on the East Coast here, it's very dependent on farmers and crops, what gets planted. Because if something good gets planted in the late season, or if there's like a winter wheat, anything that turns green January, February, them deer are going to come to it for miles.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's how I found battle axe sheds for the longest time, is there was a specific food plot that they would plant that it was just the luscious. It would get up a foot to 2 feet. I don't know what it was, but it was so green and they absolutely loved it. And deer would come from freaking miles to come eat in this. And I'd find 20, almost 30 sheds in it a year.
That's insane. So,
and it only happened a couple years because they hardly plant it. Like, it's like every 3 or 4 years they plant it.
So even late season, right? So we're prepping for the following year at this point, right? Yep. We're prepping for the 2026 season right now, right?
Yep.
So even though you're prepping for that season, you're still looking for food now. You're just trying to locate deer postseason to see.
Well, I've typically found out here specifically, and it's all their places as well. Wherever the food is in the end of season, they're typically there in early season, August. It's the same places. I've come to find out it's pretty standard. Like, if you're finding them there in January, February, March, that's typically where they're starting their season at, because that's where that earliest fresh greens are that they're trying to get for the year. Same thing at the after season. So I use all my after season scouting and looking for sheds to know, hey, some of this stuff that I can get into now because some of the layers peeled away. It's not thick and nasty. I mean, it's thick and nasty, some of it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you can actually, peel some of the layers and get side of it, and you can figure out where they're bedding. Like, I think I've found 12 sheds so far.
Well, that's I think
year so far.
you posted a story or a post or something. You're going through and you're walking, and it's just like shed after shed. And you're like, oh, I've already found 12 this year, and we're like middle of January.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people, like, when they think shed hunting,
They don't start looking till later.
till like almost March.
The only reason, there's just specific areas that they will drop early.
Why?
Well, that area that I've been in the last couple of days, briars, I think it's because it is so thick. And I mean, the briars just stick to you. I think them pulling through and getting through all of it, I think that's just kind of what makes them fall off earlier. And so it just depends. Like, if they're less stressed,
That's what I was going to say.
they're going to hold them longer.
Right.
But the more stressed that they are, there's more, hunting going on in that area, they're going to stress and drop earlier. And a lot of these deer on the East Coast in North Carolina drop early because of they have a stressful deer season.
Dude, I feel like it's stressful
still
all year.
hunters, dog hunters, like, it's just their stress level is so, because they don't get a break anywhere.
So what's the earliest you've seen them drop?
December,
December.
mid-December. I've had my first year here in 17. I shot a buck that dropped his sheds. I think it was December 18th. I shot him, tracked him. I got up to it, and it didn't have antlers on it. I was like, hold on here. I went back and watched the film. For sure had antlers on its head. And I backtracked, and I found both of his sheds.
He dropped them
After I shot him.
after you shot him?
Yep. It wasn't a big buck either.
Doesn't matter.
Like,
That's still pretty wild.
Decent, yeah. I got up on it, and I was like, hold on here. Like,
Did I shoot the wrong deer?
No, that's originally what I thought. And I was like, was there a deer behind it? Did I shoot? And I had to go back and watch the film. I'm like, no, that was him. Okay. And I went back to where I shot him the first 10 yards into the woods. There was like a little thicket that he had to bust through, and both antlers were right there.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm sure there's not a lot of stories like that.
I mean, I see it sometimes.
Do you?
Sometimes.
Okay, that's a
but
first.
I see it on the internet. Like, I'll see like because I'm on so many like shed hunting Facebook pages or like bow hunting in general Facebook pages.
Right.
People post some pretty crazy stories and
That's
some
wild,
of this I
man.
see. Yeah.
That's interesting. So would you consider, I mean, like postseason scouting, when we talk about, is critical for a successful season, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Like, do you think it's more important postseason scouting than scouting like preseason, like summertime?
I think they both have their place.
Do you?
You got to do both.
So you don't just postseason scout and then hold off and get in the woods when opening weekend. You're still scouting.
Oh, yeah.
Like summer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll start in August.
Okay. So and you don't feel like it puts too much.
Fields.
So it's different. So it's not boots on the ground and busting up where they're at. So it's a different style of scouting.
Yes.
You're from a distance versus being in their quarters.
Yep. This time of the year, I'm putting all my boots where it shouldn't be and just trying to figure out the tunnels, the trails, the beds, figuring out where their escape routes were, because I actually found one of the buck sheds I found so far this year is a buck that I'm going to hunt next year. I've got 4 sheds off of it now. I just dug through all the piles I have, and I'm like, holy cow, this is that same deer. He's got trash. So I'm hoping he does a good jump for next year. But like those deer specifically in that area, like they're so hard to hunt because there's no trees. It's only ground hunting. And they just weasel through some of these tunnels and stuff. And it's actually, you would never think that a big buck would be bedding in that area just because of how much traffic of people there are. I mean, it's right next to a construction site.
So, I mean, I feel like I hear that more and more, like those really mature deer.
They can watch people. They can keep an eye on them.
Everything is in their favor, and they just understand what's happening in that area so well that they just feel safe.
And the crazy thing is when I used to run trail cameras in there, Saturday and Sunday, there'd be deer all over them trail cameras during the daytime, going around that construction site. And then Monday through Friday, everything's at night.
Dude, they've got it pegged.
100%. And like they just got it figured out. They bed with their backs up against a fence in the thickest of thickest, and they can see everything going on inside of the fence. And when there's nothing going on in there, they know that they're not in there for the day. I mean, they got them patterned.
Yeah.
Just like we try to pattern deer. They got people patterned.
They're on it. Huh. So what about like when we talk about like our mature deer movement, like immediately postseason, right? Because you get all this pressure all season long. Immediately postseason, how does their pattern change like postseason, and then what does it look like going into early season? Like you talked about food, right? Postseason and early season. Do mature deer that you see typically whenever you hunt, are they like their postseason routine is very, very similar to their early season?
Yes.
So
they don't start getting crazy until people start bumping them.
right. Okay.
And so like I've noticed within 200 yards of the food source that they're eating, that's what they're bedding within 200 yards. If you're looking for sheds where you hunted them during deer season, that's why people aren't finding sheds.
Okay.
They're not there. They're where the food is at, and they're staying close to it. They don't want to travel far. They want to be in the thickest, most advantageous place they can be around that food source, so they can, get all their nutrients and things back. They're not trying to stress themselves out. The moment they're getting, bumped around and moved around, that's when they push away from it. So that's why I always tell people, like, in early season, that first week of season, if you're out there, a couple weeks, if not a month before, keeping a distance, just glassing those fields or wherever that those deer feed in early season, pattern them that way from a distance. And then once you get them figured out, you get one shot. And if you, blow the wind, if the wind messes up and they catch your wind, from there, it's chess game. They're pushing somewhere different, and then you got to refine them.
So you don't have a lot of opportunity, you think, when it comes to mature deer. You just can't make mistakes.
You can't. They smell you one time. Think about it. They've had since January to that moment in September off, essentially. No pressure. Maybe people in the woods, they see them, but there's no real danger or pressure towards them.
Right.
I don't know how they can tell. Maybe it's just the way hunters smell. I don't know. But they can tell when they're being hunted. And when they do get busted, it's a whole new ballgame from there with a mature deer, because now they know it's that time of year again. I always think it's that first time that they, get a whiff of someone hunting or see that something's going on in the woods, is that's when everything starts to be like, okay, we got to stop coming out during daytime now. Got to change it up a little bit.
So you really got to be that cautious.
Yeah.
So do you think that going in there postseason, yes, you're going to disrupt them, right? But they're going to go back and they're going to fall back into that routine.
Yeah, I think it's a big enough win. It's probably not great going this early in some areas, because a lot of deer aren't dropped yet. You stress them out, push them out of those areas, it would be hard to find their sheds.
Right.
So, like, when I shed hunt very early, I'm not in the woods at all. Like, in January, I'm just field checking. I'm just seeing where the deer are coming to, so then I know later, February, March, that's the woods that I'm going to comb or something like that.
So right now, it's like, for the most part, you're still not in the woods?
Mm-mm.
Oh, so you're just from afar.
I walk the fields.
Okay.
I'll just stay out of the woods and walk the fields, because I don't want to push deer that still have antlers on their head, because it'd make it harder for me to find. So I'll just check the fields and stay out of the woods. And, like, unless I know certain areas, every year they drop them early.
Right.
For instance, that one area I talked about, that construction site, like, every year they're dropping the end of December. I don't know why. Maybe it's stressful for where they're living right there, and that's why they drop them. But, like, they've become accustomed to it. Maybe. I don't know.
So what about, as far as now you're talking about, like, you're just walking fields and stuff. Is there a time of day that you, like...
First thing in the morning.
That's when you go.
Hey,
just to beat the crowd?
Early bird gets the worm.
That's right.
That's my motto.
Well, that's clearly shown true.
That's how I met someone else that really was big into shed hunting on base. His name was Chase. Is Chase. He
still with us.
Yeah, he's still with us. I kept coming into some of the places like around 8 o'clock, and occasionally there was boot prints ahead of me. I'm like, dude, it's 8 o'clock. Like, it's early on a Saturday and Sunday, and I'm catching a boot print ahead of me. And those fields I wasn't finding sheds, and I was like, all right, I'm going to have to figure this out. We got to come in a little earlier. Came in a little earlier, and I walked the field, picked up 4 or 5 sheds, and like 10 minutes after I was getting ready to walk back to my truck pulls up. And I go over, talk to him. That's how I met Chase. And he's like, yeah, go in and look for some sheds. He had a pile in his passenger seat. I'm like, okay, so this guy's on it too.
He gets after it.
Yeah, and so we started talking, and like, he finds like almost the same amount of sheds I find on base a year. I was like, holy crap. We started looking. Like, he had a ton of my matches. I had a ton of his matches that we'd been looking for hours to try and match up that we weren't going to match up. We did some trades. So we all were happy at the end of it.
Yeah. No, so what's the draw for you with the shed hunting side of things? Is it more so you just enjoy finding sheds, or it's a piece of the puzzle for the upcoming season? Like, why is it? Because I know some people that could just care less about finding a shed. And I'll be honest, I'm one of those. Yeah. Like, it's cool, but to me, a shed is not that important. Mm-hmm. But for you, it's clearly way different. You're very into it. And so what is so important to you about it?
Well, it starts a new chapter for me.
Right. Okay.
I like to build, I don't like to just go hunting and the chance of a nice buck coming in or the chance of seeing one. I want a pattern, a specific one, because I don't know, I think it's way more challenging to find a certain deer you want to hunt, have a history with it, figure out where it's living, figure out where it's going to eat, figure out where its water source is, and actually patterning that deer and actually being able to like outsmart a mature buck, like a specific one, not just any one.
Right.
That's just the thing with me.
Yeah.
And like I will just use the woods just to be able to go find sheds. And when I find something, I'm like, oh, this is a really cool buck. And then I'll start combing that area and I'll start figuring that area out. That's how I use it.
And that's the process that really leads you. I mean, so.
And I pick up hundreds of sheds along the way that really don't mean, I mean, I like finding them.
Right.
It's just being out in the woods. And it's just like that satisfaction of like doing what you're going out to do.
Right.
Finding antlers, trying to find something that you can hunt for the next year.
Yeah, and ultimately, obviously, it's going to improve your woodsmanship skills being out there that much, right? And if you're on sheds that much, you know you're doing something right because you're in their core area. Yeah. And, you know, like we talk about a lot of people who don't have a successful season or didn't have a successful season this past season, they're neglecting typically a major aspect of it versus just getting in the woods and hunting. Yeah. There's that whole lead up to the season. And I guess that's, I mean, the shed hunting side of things, the draw to it. Find something, determine their core areas, start the process for the next season. Yeah. So with that, with the early season side of things, do you are you putting cameras out already or are you just pulling cameras?
I pull cameras when I'm shed hunting normally. Okay.
So you'll pull them and you just pull them out of the woods for now.
Yeah. I'll stay out because this summer I'm normally fishing on the boat offshore doing that thing or shark fishing, something like that. This is what just pushes me over into August when I start prepping in for the next year. I also use January and February, like spots that I found during season that like I really, really, really liked, but need some work in the area, maybe some things trimmed or just finding a better tree in that area because a lot of the areas, you know, I only hunt once. And I get in there, I'm like, oh, this is a really good area, but this wasn't the tree I needed to be in. I'll mark it and I'll, you know, color code it for each year so I know what pins that I got to go into and do a little bit of work or like rechecking out in the off season to see what it looks like in there.
Yes, that's pretty in depth, man. Because you showed me like some of your Onyx maps last time we talked about, and there's literally
layers.
Dude, there's so many pins on these maps. It's like, where do you even begin?
I know,
and they all mean something.
Yeah. There's so many people like, yo, let me see some of your pins on your Onyx, and it's like, no, that's secret.
You can see them, but you ain't gonna have any idea what's going on.
I just gotta zoom out, and it covers up the whole entire area.
It's literally like orange and like blue. I can't remember. There was a handful of different colors, and I'm like, oh, what do the colors mean? You're like, nothing really. Like,
just color code
they're just
it.
No, man, I thought it was funny, man. There's so many pins on there, but I mean, it just goes to show how much time you really spend and how much history you have in each of the places that you visit. And it's typically not a one-off. And when you look at your history year over year with the deer and the caliber deer that you kill, obviously for good reason. I mean, the extensive amount of.
I also know what's in there. Like a lot of people think when a good buck comes by, it's like, oh, that's a monster for there. There's some really big deer around here.
Right.
You just have to put your time in to find them. Like, that's how I found some, like, battle axe. Putting my boots on the ground, finding that shed, and was like, wow, I need to figure this deer out. This is the craziest thing I've ever found. And that's the excitement of finding something new and starting a new chase. Right. Like the whole excitement of it.
So do you feel like, I mean, like locating deer like that, like especially let's talk about the Southeast specifically.
Yeah.
Because hunting is pretty challenging for, I think, a majority of the people in this area or, you know, in the Southeast just in general. Like finding deer like that. I mean, when you find one deer like that, is it typically a one-off? Like there's one deer in that area of that caliber, or do you see them like consistently within those same kind of core areas?
Same core areas.
Really?
Yeah. I've just some of the areas I'm based that I hunt, like just all the times I've ever been in there, never big rack bucks in some areas. I think it's just nutrition, what they have to eat, and that's all. And that's all it amounts to. Some areas are more nutritional for the deer to grow better racks, and so like I don't think one big buck is in a specific area at all. I think wherever the food's at that grows it, I mean, they can disappear in some areas on base.
Oh yeah, and
never get seen, you know. And I mean, all they're doing is growing. I mean, so I think where Battle Axe was, where I found his sheds, there was 3 or 4 bucks of his caliber in that same little area.
Really?
Yeah. I killed one of them, not this past season, the season before. He was a really big 10-point, dark chocolate. My bow buck I got in there, I think it was 2 years ago. But but he was running in that same exact area Battle Axe was, and there was another 10 point that was probably in the 130s running the same. I mean, I had all three of them on the same camera, not at the same time, but
Right.
throughout the whole season, multiple times each of them.
And is that area like just super secluded, just difficult?
No.
Really?
No. 100 yards off a hardball road.
Which is, I mean, it's almost like the harder you try sometimes,
Yeah.
like the further off you go, the less luck you have. And it's like they're in that area where they know exactly what's happening.
That's what it is, too. And they can hear everyone coming. They can see everyone coming.
So that's why it's so difficult to get on them, though.
Yeah, because they have so many avenues to, like, get away from there.
Right.
You pull up, they see a vehicle pull up, and it's like, whew, we're gone.
Yeah,
And
so it starts before you even get out of the vehicle or out of the truck, right?
some of those areas that I hunted, like, off the road like that, I'm parking way the heck away and coming in through some terrible stuff to get into, you know, some of the areas where they bed off the road and not, like, push all the way up in there from the road, because I used to do that, and I realized I was never seeing the deer when I would hunt them. When the cameras were up, like, they were coming through there during the daytime. Every time I came in, never seen anything. And I was like, dude, it has to be how I'm coming in. And I started changing how I came in to the areas when I hunt by the roads. Started seeing them a heck of a lot more. I mean, it's terrible getting there. It's like it was in the prep work, January, February right now.
Right.
Like, if you find that core area, like, wow, there's a big deer living right here, but it's right off a road, and there's really no way to get to him, it's where January, February comes in. You cut yourself a trail through the back somewhere to weasel yourself into where you got to get into. That's how you kill them big ones.
And that's what sets you up.
Yep.
And you said you typically have like one opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Unless,
I mean, in that area.
Right.
And after that, they're just so weary and on edge. But I mean,
so as soon as they bust you once or get any kind of incentive that you're there, the entire game or strategy changes for you.
It does.
Yeah.
But I mean, I also think that's too when you're hunting a specific deer.
Right.
They know that they're being hunted at that point. The moment that, like, you kind of get that, give them that exchange of, you know, smelling you or whatever it is. I think once they run into you a second time or see your vehicle or anything like that, once they know they're being hunted, then it's just...
They're marking you on their map, buddy.
Yeah, that's 100% what it is.
So when we talk about, like, postseason scouting, the window is for you. Typically, you start in January. You're walking field edges. Closer to February, March, you start actually getting into the woods.
February, I'll start getting in.
So February,
I'll give January the courtesy. Like, I know a lot of people don't. Some people don't know.
Right.
And I mean, it really doesn't hinder the deer. I mean, it might stress them out a little more and drop their antlers a smidge earlier than they wanted to, but I just tried to give them their space after they made it through 4 months of hell.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So, but what about during that time frame, like, what matters most? Obviously food, right? You're looking for that. That's a massive portion of what you're looking for. But what about, like, trails, primary, secondary trails, beds, you know, rub lines, historical?
Nothing really in January, February.
You're not looking for that at all?
I mean, when I go into some bedding areas, like if I find certain bedrooms where I think deer are bedded, like it's absolutely tore up in certain areas, like I'm marking those areas and like, hey, potential bedding area for, like, and I'm talking about rubs that you can tell have been there for years. Like,
so historical
sheds,
yes.
Rubs, yes. But like, I'm not putting too much thought into it. That's why I also have so many pins. Like, I'll color code them, you know, and then when I bump a deer that I'm hunting, then I'll go back to that onyx and I'll look through all the possible bedding areas that I encountered in that area. If I know I blew an area out, then I'm trying whatever next bedding area is closest to that area where I think that big buck would move to.
How far do you think, if you go in there and you bump a deer like that, typically do you see that they move? Is it pretty drastic?
I don't know, man. It could be far.
Really?
Because, I mean, Battle Axe, I mean, he was going 2 miles. Like, his whole travel area was like a 2 mile, like, in distance. So, I mean, and he would bed in certain sections of that area throughout the year. I mean, I think he stayed close to the food. Whatever it was he liked to eat, that's kind of where he bedded. But, I mean, I've bumped him in one spot almost 2 miles away a week prior, and then the next week he was living almost 2 miles away in the swamp after I bumped him out of that area. So, I mean, I really think it just all depends on the deer and like how far they're willing to go to get away from whatever the threat is.
So what about when it comes to like your buck bed areas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are they consistently bedding in the same spot if they're undisturbed,
Yeah.
or is it or
On base? Yeah, 100%.
really? So
staying in the
they're
same spots. I
they're
find
there.
the sheds there a year after year after year, either in the bed or in the fields.
So why do we hear like some people talking about buck bed areas are like pretty inconsistent, like they're, you know?
I think what they mean by that is exact beds, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not talking finding exact beds every year. I'm talking maybe
General areas.
100-yard by 100-yard block of a thicket. So, I
That
mean,
makes
but to me,
sense.
that's the same area.
Okay.
If you think about it, I mean, it might not be the same exact bed, but if you are looking at your maps and you're looking at those core bedding areas, I mean, they're just somewhere in it, bedding, and they're living in it, moving around in it. They want to be, you know, be able to walk around and eat and not be seen or messed with during the days, and then at night they're out in the fields all night eating.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where they're spending their time. It's just browsing around that thick stuff that they're bedding in, and then when it, you know, night comes, they're out in those fields all
So
night.
they're not moving further than they have to.
Heck no.
They're there,
Mm-hmm.
just hanging out.
I mean, you'll get, like, in some areas, like, if there's a lot of good food in those areas, they'll walk the whole area going to it, checking it, and seeing what's there. But, I mean, if there's only, like, one predominant food source at the end of that year, they're not leaving it. They're staying as close as they can till it dries up, or till, you know, it's not there what they need.
No, that makes sense. So, I mean, as far as, like, late season food, though, like, I mean, if you're looking at fields and stuff like that, I mean, what foods are you looking at now? Because, like, what about like some of the fields that I'm seeing right now, like winter wheat and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Is that a priority for them?
Greenest. I think
just
the
anything.
greenest fields is all they're going to.
Okay, so anything green is kind of the priority
Yeah.
at this point.
Down here, anyways. And I mean, for instance, on 24, you know, all that pipes that they dug off of 24 running parallel to base, all that green grass.
Yep.
Deer all over in that.
Yeah,
and
no.
That's nothing other than what are they planted for the grass seed just to go over top of that, and that whole entire strip. Deer have been all over it.
Because which is kind of interesting, because when you look at, like, for example, where we're at, you never feel like there's a food shortage for them.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's never that cold.
Yep.
So, I mean, for some people, it's like, hey, where do I figure out everything seems green?
Yeah.
You're looking for the freshest, best.
I think if you just get in the woods and you find the freshest and best and you walk it and you're looking for track, sign, poop, what's in there to see how many deer are coming to that specific area, it's going to tell you everything you need to know. And then from there, you just got to see the trails that come out of the field and try to pinpoint where the direction of those trails are coming from. And then from there, you can kind of build your playbook as far as, hey, these bulk of these trails are coming from this direction of this field. So I need to do some scouting in this direction in the woods to see where I can find those bedding. And then maybe you dig into there a little bit, maybe you find some oak or some red oak or some white oak or something like that. And then, you know, that could be like a little pre-stage area before they come in the fields early season. And that's kind of, you know, what you want to hone in on is wherever those big fields or them big ticket fields are that those deer come out to in the off season. You know, I would say most of the time there's some sort of oaks inside of the woods somewhere by those fields. And if you can find white oak or any good oak, that's just a perfect pre-staging area for them to hit before they go out in those fields.
So everything you do with intention. Like, you're not blindly wandering around. I mean, from what I'm gathering, you've defined these, what you think are good areas to start, fields, you're walking fields, and then from there you're kind of determining where you need to go based off trails, entries, and whatnot. And you really break everything down. Yeah. And then you note every single thing.
Yeah, everything. Which
I think is important to talk about, because, you know, it's one thing you just go out and you're like, oh, wow, I found a shed, or wow, look at this, you know, this travel corridor, this potential bedding area, and then not note it, because I'm notorious for, like, I'm like, okay. And then I don't note it, and I'm like, I'll remember. Like, don't remember anything. Like,
well, I did that when I first started. Like, there was areas that I wouldn't pin, but I was like, I took note to it, you know, like
right,
mental note. And then that next deer season came in, and I came across one of those areas. It's like, whoa. I look at my maps, there's nothing there. It's like, man, I remember this area, though. And then it dawned on me that, like, oh, yeah, I took a mental note of that. Well, I wish I would have put something here and said that, because I would have known this is that second bedding area that they like to be because there's oaks in here.
Right. That was what I'm pretty notorious for, is that's what I've done in the past is I'm like, I'll take a mental note. I'll be in the woods, pulling cameras, walking through. And then I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. We got this, this, and this noted. And instead of actually putting it down on paper, because whenever you go back and you pull up Onyx and then all those pins light up, it's so much easier to go back, read the notes that you put in there, and use that information to your advantage versus trying to recall stuff that you saw visually, but you didn't write it down.
Yeah. And that's why I always just use it and put the notes now, because it's like, I forget what deer that was specifically, but it was a good deer I was hunting, and I bumped it out of there. And once I got past like the wall of thick stuff and I started recognizing things in there, I realized, I was like, I should have marked this. I said I was going to mark it and I never did.
Yeah.
And I would never have pushed in where I pushed into if I had it marked. And, I could have had another play with that deer, but I think I bumped him out of the bed, and he took off out of Dodge. I don't even think I hunted him the rest of the season, because I was just like, I don't even know where his backup beds are or anything. And that was actually one of the deer in the areas that I've been shed hunting this past couple of weeks too.
Ah, okay.
So like, I've known about this deer, but I've messed up on him twice 2 years prior, and I've never done anything. Like, I messed up one time. I don't know enough about the deer that I never even went back in during season.
Huh. So during this time of the year, this postseason, is this when you start to collect your hit list for deer?
Yeah.
So you're already trying to compile a list of different areas so that you're not blindly hunting anywhere during the season.
Yeah.
So it starts this early for you.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is where I start my hit list.
Yeah. Okay.
And then August just confirms it when I get out there glassing fields, looking for them all bachelored up, just confirming, what areas, them bucks are at, and if they are still doing that, and what they look like. And I mean, I ate both my North Carolina buck tags this year, and it wasn't because of lack of seeing big bucks. I seen some deer that people probably like, why did you not shoot those?
Right.
But I mean, I've shot so many deer that are like that. I'm trying to get a little bit better at shooting bigger deer. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you shoot big deer already, but you got to eat some tags some years to wait on some of the bigger ones. So.
Yeah, it's constantly evolving too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's goals are different. And I mean, whenever you set goals, which I think is important going into the season, you have some kind of goal established, whether it's, going to fill all my tags this year, or I'm going to wait it out for the, a specific deer, I think is important. But you didn't, I mean, that was North Carolina for you.
Yeah. I killed one South Carolina velvet buck, 8-point, and I killed my archery, I think it was 11-point in New York in November, and then I killed a muzzleloader 8-point in New York.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought I saw that you shot 2 in New York.
Yeah, I got 2 up there this year.
Okay.
So I got 3 bucks this year, but first year North Carolina didn't tag out since 17.
Really?
Or at least shoot one, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, both my daughters both killed very nice 8-points, so I take it with, I wouldn't change this year though. I mean, Everly killed her first buck ever, our first deer ever, and she did it with a crossbow this year. And Graceland killed a stud 8-point with my muzzleloader. And even though I didn't kill anything here, I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
Yeah.
So
So you hunted South Carolina too. So I mean, do you normally hunt South Carolina?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What time of year did you go down there and kill
August.
it? Dude.
Yeah, it's hot.
That's
It's Crocs.
terrible, man.
It's Crocs and shorts leather.
No kidding, man. Gross. Oh.
It's just like August. I've done it 4 years now. I've went down there, and the first 2 years I didn't get anything. Last year I got a really nice 8-point. I think it was like 17.5 inches wide, full velvet. And then this past season I got an 8-point full velvet.
So are you spending time postseason in those places as well?
Heck no. I got a buddy that's down there.
Okay.
That I was just giving him money to bait some areas that I had permission to over the years, and I've left cameras down there. Just had him change out batteries. A good buddy of mine, Hunter. So shout out to him for always keeping the cameras up and
keeping them running for you.
So
So between North Carolina and New York, I mean, because you're originally from New York, right? So you have property up there. You have a ton of history with it.
Yeah.
So did you do the same thing postseason? Just spend all your time?
No, man. I joined the Marine Corps when I was 18.
Okay.
So league 14 is when I could bow hunt in New York. Everything changed. I was so agitated when I was 14. That's when I was allowed to bow hunt. That's when I was legally allowed to. And I had to wait till I was 16 to gun hunt. And the year I turned 16, they changed it to like 12 or something. And oh my gosh, it was terrible. And I was like, all this time I could have been hunting. I had to wait till I was 16, and they changed it the year I turned 16. It was like 12. And so I didn't get to do much up there when I was still in high school, and the scouting and I was out there, but nothing like I am now. Hunting down here has changed me because it's so tough. It's super tough hunting. I think by far, out of all the traveling I've done, I've been on the East Coast, West Coast, all over the place. This is some of the hardest hunting. And I'm sure you can even ask any other YouTubers that do some travel hunting, and the East Coast, like Southeast, is some of the toughest hunting because, you don't have a lot of terrain features to deal with. And like some of the thickets, if you don't really know how to decipher some of the maps of what it is, man, you could get yourself buried in some nasty stuff in this coast.
It's the worst at night too, whenever you're trying to navigate out of there and you get hung up and you're like, I'm going to be here for the rest of the night.
If you can't read the maps, you can get into trouble real fast on this coast.
Yeah, it's bad, man. It's real bad. So what about as far as like whenever we talk about people getting into this time of year, right? We've established that what you're looking at, the postseason, what you're kind of keying in on, what you're looking for in January. And as the postseason kind of evolves, how late is postseason scouting for you? Does it end in March?
It does, only because I go to Arizona. That's when I start, because applications for the draw is going on right now for Arizona. I've been putting in for the last 5 years now. So the last 5 years I've been going out there the end of March, first week of April to do scouting in the units I've been putting in for the last 4 years.
So you go out there just to scout that time of year. So scouting for you is like almost it's life is the best way to describe it. Oh man. So you not only are you scouting here postseason, you go over to Arizona. Is it too late? When is postseason too late to be in the woods doing that? Do you feel like you start disrupting?
If you turkey hunt too, you'll be in there. You'll see them turkey season in April. And I do. I'm out there every day turkey hunting, whether it's with the kids or taking someone new out turkey hunting that's never been before. And in April, you'll see all the bucks still coming out in the fields early day, late in the day, and they're growing. And you can do some building there too. I've done it over the years, not intentionally,
right?
But holy cow, look at this deer that I had no idea of. Now I'm watching it, filming it. Now we have a new target all of a sudden, I'll use turkey hunting as scouting occasionally too, but when it's thunder chicken season, we're feet down, we're going after them.
You're on it. So what do you see some of the biggest mistakes with postseason scouting? Is it just not doing it?
Man, I think it's the eyes. I think people train in their eyes. Really? Everyone always says, man, I'm putting the work in, I'm putting the miles in. And I always think the two biggest mistakes are putting the miles in the wrong areas and not taking the time to look and walking too fast. Because I've shed hunted with many people, and I always tell most people getting into it, or people that said they've done it for so long, is I'll walk fast. My head is on a swivel, and if I get to a certain area that I need to stop and look around and check 525s, everything close, and start working my way out, I'm going to do that. I think that's people's biggest problems is in the postseason, they're putting all this time in. They get so discouraged because they're not finding anything because they're not training their eyes to look for what they're looking for, sheds or what, the sign. If you're not stopping, taking a pause and looking for it, it's so much harder to catch it on the move constantly. So I think that's another big problem that people have is training their eyes to look for what you're trying to find.
Yeah, no, I can see that. When you look at people in general anyways, you're so it's very easy to become distracted, I think.
Phones, whatever it is. I don't have my phone out unless I'm marking something on my phone or trying to regain direction of where I'm getting out of this crap hole that I'm into.
Right.
My phone's not out of my pocket unless I'm marking something or something like that. And I think that's another thing. People are just playing around on a phone or playing around with something else. When it's time to be in the woods, it's time to take it all in, because you don't want to be in there doing that in August, September, during season, doing your scouting. I do it every time, or not every time, time and time, every year, just because some areas maybe just not have been open for me to get in there and do the scouting I wanted to. So maybe I have to do a quick walk at some of the areas that, there's been habitual scrapes or rubs or something of that nature just to see what's going on in that area. But You don't want to wait too long.
Yeah. So, I mean, whenever you are searching specifically for sheds, right, you're looking for all this different sign. Are you almost like grid searching?
Yes. So I'll use Onyx every time I go into an area till I know I'm done with it, and I'll keep my track.
Oh, okay. So
I'll save it, and then the next day I go in there, I'm searching where I didn't search already. I'll grid like a real grid everywhere I go.
I mean, you're covering that entire area back and forth, trying to find
because some of the sheds I found a couple days ago, that stuff I would never walk in. Are you kidding me? Only because I was gridding it did I find 3 of them. Because it was
how thick was it? Or was it just an odd location?
I mean, it was just absolute briars.
Oh, yeah, North Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, you can see in the video that like it's just a mess.
Oh yeah, is this the one you posted?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, you have to crawl through that.
Yeah, and it's not on a trail. It's not on anything. That's just where I found these 3 in, and it was around their bedding area though, and they can walk around in that so easily. But for us, we get wrapped up in everything in those briars and that God-forsaken stuff that's in there. But they can just get around in there and that. And if you don't grid off like areas that you're like, wow, there's a lot of deer here. If you're not gridding them off, you're not going to find all the sheds because they will go through all of that. You got to think. There's natural browse all over in that. And they're going to walk every inch of it, taking off the little buds that are off some of them, rose bushes maybe, whatever it is. They're going to walk every inch of that. So if you're looking for sheds only in those highways, you're going to miss the ones of them going through, picking off whatever it was they're browsing through.
So do you take and have like a point, I'm going to walk to this point, and then I'm going to turn around back and forth all the way through it. And you just check off boxes like this is the area I'm in.
And I'll pull my phone out to make sure like I didn't miss something, or because some of it all looks the same.
Right. Oh, it all looks the same.
When I come up to places that are like that, I'll pull my phone out and I'll be like, okay, I did not walk that, but I thought I did walk it, and boom, there's a shed or something.
Okay.
I mean, that's what happened with Joe's buck that I tracked. That
did you guys have to grid search to find that thing?
Oh my gosh, that is a whole podcast in itself. It could take 2 hours.
It
was a 3-day track job.
We'll have to do that with Joe.
I've never in my entire life tracked a deer like that. And I tackled his deer. Remember I told you stories about tackling deer? That's one of them. And I mean,
I have to bring him
that
on so we can do
was
that episode.
Relentless. He put a good shot on it. Like he got 1 lung.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the best shot, but where the location was at and everything, it wasn't a bad shot. But I mean, just the will to live that deer was nothing like I've ever seen before.
That's wild.
Deer,
man.
but yeah.
Just the grid searching side of things for shed hunting. And so because you're putting so much emphasis in that, and you're in that area, they come back eventually.
Yep.
So you don't have to worry being this early in the season or post this late in the season, however you want to look at it. You don't have to worry about ruining that indefinitely.
Yeah, because I'm normally in there 2 days at most.
Okay.
Unless it's like a big deer I'm trying to match up and it's taking me more than 2 days, I'll put in the time until I find it.
Right.
But normally 2 days takes me to grid off certain sections, and I'm done. I'm not in there until deer season next year.
And then you've got everything you need, all the information, and you're like, okay, this area can rest until it's time.
Yeah. That's typically what I do. I try to do it closer to when the season ends in some of the areas, just because like they're still used to some pressure going on, and it's just my personal preference is like I try to get in there a day or two, get it all taken care of, and then I'm out of there. And then maybe if I didn't find that deer sheds that I wanted to find, I'll go revisit it in March and see if he did drop him back in that area.
Right. That makes sense. So as far as like high probability shed locations, right? Is it mainly just bedding areas, or are you looking at like food to bed routes? Are you looking at like south facing slopes? Like,
I would say for here, 70% of my sheds are found in fields.
In fields.
Yeah.
Oh, see that I was way off. So for some reason I think
that's
like core bedding areas.
No, fields. Well, think about it. When after season's done, if they have a big field or big food source, they will stay out there all night. They're spending 8 hours a night in that. And in their bed, they're spending maybe the same thing, but they're also not moving around in there. they're up, down,
Shaking
for
their
8
head,
hours,
yeah.
shaking their heads. And that's why most of the sheds are always in the fields, because they're constant on look out there. And
That
it's
makes
up, down,
sense.
up, down,
See,
up, down. Less movement in their beds.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. See, I think whenever I think sheds, I'm like, dude, we got to be in like the bedding area.
Yeah.
And I mean that, and you're the guy to talk to about it because you found all of the sheds. I was like, when it comes to base, clearly
Yeah.
like you and the dude named Chase collecting all the sheds
Yeah.
out there. So you're the one to talk to about it. But yeah, I really would have thought that bedding would be the primary focus, and it's not.
Mm-mm.
It's the fields where they're hanging out in the evenings, at nights,
Yeah.
all night feeding.
Because, I mean, they're ripping their head up and down. I don't know how many times, but think about it.
Yeah, no, that makes
They're
perfect sense.
Constantly on edge out in the fields, whether it's midnight, 10 p.m., it doesn't matter the time, but they're constantly eat, head up,
Right.
shaking a little bit, maybe a little bit of sparring, whatever it is. But there's so much movement, and they'll walk around the whole fields.
That makes sense. So the other thing too is when we're looking for sheds, I mean, I think when we talk about like when you start compiling your hit list, sheds help you do that because sheds reveal certain aspects or certain characteristics about a deer, right? I mean, I imagine that's a major portion of it for you, you know, whether it's age class, size, core areas, that they're still alive.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a major part of shed hunting for you as well, is actually what it reveals?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the excitement of what it reveals. Like,
Right.
especially being able to like put together a playbook and being able to execute it and find what you're setting out to do.
I mean, yeah, that's
just-
the whole, that's, I think, a complete hunter with that,
Yeah.
right? Is you, I mean, from beginning to end, you've located, you've got history now, and then you're able to execute on a plan that you've put together. Now
Like this whole year was kind of strange for me because like Battle Axe was dead. And like I was trying to find something new that was another reason why I didn't like settle with something, you know, I've seen some mature bucks, but I just didn't have the urge like I had over the years. And it was weird this year on base. I was like, I don't know. I have like no desire because I like starting a whole new chapter over, you know, and then that buck I found his sheds a couple weeks ago, and it's like, wow, I actually have quite a bit of history with this deer. And I started digging out some of the sheds I had in my bin. I'm like, I've got some serious history with 3 or 4 bucks in that bins. I have almost 5 sheds out of same deer, 100% same deer. Like they're just identical sheds. And I was like, so it kind of got me a little excited because I was like, I got some, you know, deer that I have sheds over the last 3 years. And I think that's just kind of how I'm going to start targeting deer from now on, is just ones that I have history with, because it just makes it easier for me just to focus on certain deer.
Yeah. I mean, do you go through, are you able to age them with their, their sheds?
Not with their sheds, but
Like
after I kill them, they get aged on base. They have a biologist that will send the teeth in and get them aged. So like
Okay.
I've had everything aged that I've gotten on base so far.
Do you have a rough idea though, with like, you're like, oh man, I've already got 4 years of history with this deer. I had a rough idea he was this.
I was right on Battle Axe's age the whole time.
And how old was that one?
9.5.
Jesus.
And then the one I killed 2 years ago, he was 5.5, and I had him only for 2 years on camera. And I guessed him somewhere between 4 to 5, and I mean they aged him at 5.5. So I mean,
pretty spot on.
I'm pretty good with it, I would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't really just tell off antlers. I will say you can. I think personally, some people are going to tell me that I'm wrong, but I think in certain areas you can tell somewhat of an age off of a deer. I mean, that bull's on the mass on that antler. I mean, a young buck's not going to have a monster antler around here with big mass.
Right.
It's just not realistic. Now, maybe out west, you have those studs that are 2.5 years old, maybe 130 inches already.
Right.
You don't have that here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just don't have that
It's
here.
a little different caliber of deer.
So when you're finding those big sheds here, you just have to assume they're at least starting. That's maybe they're 3.5 this year, or maybe 4 years old, or whatever it is, because they just don't get to that big, you know, after being 2 years old around here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Our food source is a little,
Yeah.
I think, less nutritious, that sandy soil and whatnot.
Yeah. Because I have a buck that's, man, dude, he might be older than Battle Axe. I have his sheds from last year. I seen him multiple times just because where he drops his sheds at. He comes out broad daylight, and he's just so old. His bases are like this big, and they just peter into like his tips, like his G1s and 2s are like this long. Just he just looks old as sin.
Really?
It just grows nothing, just these big mass bases, and it just peters into like nothing. A little 8-point, but he's so old. I know he is,
which is kind of cool. I think like when you get really into the shed hunting like you do, I mean, you can kind of, I would assume, kind of get a little bit of an idea of what their personality is like, whether they're aggressive, do they fight a lot, whether, I mean, obviously with that, you can look at them and just tell they're super old and been around for a long time. So it kind of goes along with, you know, compiling that hit list. You've got a kind of a personality to match along with it.
Yeah. And it helps too during like the rut or things when calling starts coming into play in season.
Right.
Like some of the sheds of deer I find constantly are broken up every year. I'm like, okay, I know this is an aggressive buck. I can get more aggressive in some of those areas. I mean, and also all the rubs and signs in that areas let me know, like, hey, if there's an aggressive buck in the area, but if there's an aggressive buck in the area that I want to hunt, then I know that, you know, I can get a little more aggressive on the calling on here because he's not probably going to like that. He's going to come check it out. Yeah,
no, I mean, that's another thing. I mean, all those little different details that you key in on, I think, are pretty important. And that's why we're talking about this episode, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much you can take away from.
There's so much data you can take away from
so much data, almost overwhelming.
Ton of it. And it just depends on what you see.
Right.
Like, and that's why I said training your eyes. You have to see and envision what's going on there, or like, you know, where they're coming from. If you can't see it, you're not going to find a lot of sheds. You're not really going to get these deer to their core areas. You're just not going to find it if you can't, you know, see the trails, see the sign or the rub lines coming to this field from where this deer is coming from, you know.
Yeah.
Because those all tell a tale too. Rub lines. I've, you know, over the years, I mean, whatever way I've noticed if the rub is on the side of the tree, that's the direction they're going down the trails and such. So, I mean, if you have a rub line going to a field, they're going there, you know, typically in the evening. If it's coming away from the field, they're leaving that way in the evening. And that's kind of how I channel my areas where I'm either hunting in the morning or evening. So.
Yeah. So again, that's woodsmanship skills that I've just developed over a lifetime of hunting, because anybody new, I mean, isn't going to key in on all those little things.
And that's more or less for new hunters, I would say too.
Right.
Most seasoned hunters know those things, but if you are just getting into it, everything tells a tale.
Everything.
Yeah. And
it's whether you understand it or not.
Yeah. And the more you're in the woods, you're going to understand it more, because then you're going to have interactions with deer. Multiple times, you know, I've bumped into deer and they heard something, they jump up, but they don't see me or smell me, and I just freeze. And you can just, you know, I've ran into deer that still have their antlers on. Same thing with elk. And you can just see how they act, see how they are, and, you know, what they do from there. Because sometimes I've had them watch for 30, 40 minutes, not move, flick their tail and lay back down.
You know what's, dude, so I had that this past season. It's interesting how stoic deer are, right? Whenever they're turned into statues, and whenever
they won't move,
and they will not move, man.
They are listening, and that's the key. And I think that's something I've taken from deer, is like when training your eyes and ears to like when it's time to like focus, they're like, you gotta pay attention.
They're all in.
They're all in, and that's how you gotta be if you want to in this off season. If you want to try patterning those deer, finding those sheds, figuring out where their core areas are at. It all starts now.
Yeah.
And you got to be in there and you got to be able to see it.
Yeah, it's interesting because like whenever you think and you're moving through the woods and you think you're quiet and still and slow, whenever you watch something that's keyed in on an area that's, you know, maybe a little bit on edge, just how meticulous they are and how keyed in they are. I mean, because they'll go and they'll stand and they'll just stay there and won't move it seems like I sat like face to face with a deer in Kentucky this year for 5.5 hours.
Oof.
Dude. Like,
that's a showdown right there.
Dude, I was in this tree and he came up over and he bedded down in front of me. He was like 55 yards and just facing, and for 5.5, I was like,
Were you in a tree stand or saddle?
Yeah, I was in a stand.
Stand?
And we were sitting face to face. And
that's why I like saddle hunting. Keep that tree between you and him.
Yeah, man. Well, the way I set up, I just didn't anticipate it. And that's how it always goes for me.
It is how it goes.
Right?
Most of the time, that is how it goes, honestly.
But I had really good cover and I was really brushed into this. And obviously because he never knew I was there. Yeah. Right? But he sat and I swear we were looking at each other the whole time. And I'm like trying not to move. And this dude just sitting there. But for 5.5 hours, he sat on top of this ridge where it was open and it was raining. It was cold and just raining, and it didn't bother him. He sat there. He would stand up. He would mull around within a 10-yard radius, and he would lay back down for 5.5 hours. And then I was like, oh, here's my opportunity this evening, right? He's going to come down because I watched 2 does come down right in front of me. I was like, oh, he's going to come in. He's going to follow. He's going to step behind this tree. I'll be able to move, get drawn. He saw them. They walked past me, turn around, went the other direction.
Oh, ooh. That's a long wait for
in the rain the whole time, man.
That quick of a ending.
But that's how it goes sometimes. So that's the thrill of it, I think, because you're like, at any moment this can happen or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the situations like that, I'm so terrible in. Like, I prefer the least amount of interaction with a deer because I get worked up something fierce.
Dude, well, so did I, because I was like, this is a really good deer. And I'm like, this is it. And because I'm only there for a certain amount of time, right? You have your window is very short lived when you go out of state. And I was like, this is it, do or die. And, it just didn't work out. But I went back in there the next morning and I shot a really good deer. That's good. But it was cool to watch though and just see, because, I have all these thoughts on what I think they do and how I think they move or interact. And it was just different. I mean, I figured they would have been try to gain cover out of the rain. I figured he would have, kind of worked down somewhere else. I mean, and he just didn't. He did everything that I just didn't anticipate. But to watch him, he was just so stoic the entire time, because he would sit and look, and then I'm like, does he see me? Like
not even budging, just statue.
Dude, a statue, man. And that's why it would be so easy to miss them when you're moving through the woods. Because,
and I mean, you got to think some of the thicker cover. They blend in so well.
Way better than what you realize.
Way better than people realize. And a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't hear or see anything. And it's like, you say that every time, but I promise you, like, deer can squeak out of an area like unnoticed. And like, you may not have seen or heard them, but they were there.
Look at some of those big mature deer and how they move through the woods and how they're able to, like, for example, like some of the briar patches. If you see them move through, you're like, there's no way.
And they do.
They do.
They do. And it's crazy watching them go through, and they do it so quiet. The only time deer really aren't quiet is during the rut. Oh, yeah. They don't care. Then they're unreal. On a mission. But like, if it's not the rut, they will just weasel through things so quietly and majestically, and it's just like, how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, and that's like when you look at, you're like, man, I've got to go get set up on an area. I'm going to go in there this morning, and it's loud, right? Yeah, they can walk through that same area and not make a a noise. Yeah, it's crazy. That's why, I mean, we go back to the postseason side of things, the postseason scouting, knowing your entry and your exits to where you plan to hunt, where those core areas are. And, honing in on all those, because like you said, you don't get a lot of opportunities whenever it comes to a good mature deer. Yeah. So you better make sure everything's lined up, ducks in a row. And
that's another thing too. A lot of people mess up is like, they have these good deer coming out in fields or certain deer that they're hunting, and they're coming out in August, and they'll hunt them in the field edge or whatever it is. And they'll keep hunting them there the rest of the season, and they'll eventually make you hunting there. And the reason why they're not coming out in those fields is because of you. Right. You got to go in there for them if you want to get them during daylight. If you don't get them within that first week most of the time.
Is that how quick you think, like after that first week of season, you have your game plan changes? Yeah. Or you shift?
Yeah. Unless you're hunting it very, very like methodically, and you're taking your time with it, only hunting the right winds, the right conditions, then I think it, maybe 2-3 weeks before they really start changing it up, because you got to think once October rolls around, hormones start to change and everything. So then their patterns will start to change. But I think you got a couple weeks if you don't bump them in the first 2 weeks of season.
So you're
typically it's that first time.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be very, very, like you said, methodical and just very almost just stay back just so you don't go and interfere with anything. I mean, would you include like ground scent and stuff like that?
It's hit or miss. Yeah. I've had ground scent absolutely not matter, and I've had ground scent absolute matter.
Yeah, I've had the same experience.
I think it all just depends on the deer. Right. I mean, it definitely doesn't matter with some deer, but some deer, I mean, they smell it and their nose is in it, and now all of a sudden they're on edge and everything changes.
I've noticed it more. It seems like more of an impact in the woods versus in the fields.
Yeah.
Would you? I mean.
Yeah. I mean, There's a lot more sense out in the fields versus
Right.
in the woods, especially like if you're up by where they're feeding in oaks or in their bedding area. If you're leaving ground scent all over in those certain areas, like they're going to be definitely a little more eerie
Right.
in those areas. And like that just boils into those big mature bucks.
Yeah.
Like you want to minimize your footprint in all the areas that you're hunting them at and only putting, trying to not cross paths with them. That's the whole goal. Because the moment you do, I mean, they going to catch your ground scent. They're going to smell it.
Right.
And then maybe that alone could put them on edge to where they're setting back a little bit. From now on, not going out during daylight.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
what about trail cameras now? So you've gone through, it's like postseason, January, February, March. When do you start deploying trail cameras into areas? I mean, when does that start for you?
for turkey season.
For turkey, okay.
Yeah, I'll throw them back up in April, and then I'll typically leave out a couple of cameras on each property after turkey season, but I really won't start flooding them in until like August, first week of August.
Pretty close to the season then.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, I've got most all of my areas pretty well figured out.
Yeah.
And I'm just at that point in August, I'm just trying to, and I won't put out the trail cameras until I can figure out where the bachelor bucks are coming out into the fields.
So,
because I just want to get better pictures of them to see what they look like.
So, I mean, so for trail cameras for you, so you're not pushing deep in the woods with trail cameras. You're just trying to get like almost like a inventory.
Yeah, just an inventory. I just want to see what's there, see if there's anything I want to hunt, or to see what that deer that I am hunting grew into.
So, I mean, so there's a lot of different strategies when it comes to trail cameras, right? Because some people are very, very aggressive with them, which could be good, and I guess could also be detrimental to your hunt. But that makes sense. If you're just trying to collect an inventory, get good images of what's actually in those areas, you're not going to be in the woods disrupting them, trying to deploy a camera, change batteries.
Yeah, I'm not putting cameras in the woods until like October. Once scrapes really start getting hit, then I'll start putting cameras over scrapes. That's my second wave of when I put cameras out. So I'll just do field edges, and then October I'll put them on all the communal scrapes that I found over the years and just get another inventory inside of the woods closer to those.
So you don't solely rely on trail cameras.
No.
You're not a trail camera guy.
I mean, I love them.
Yeah.
Because it helps me build, stuff with deer, but I relied on them so much that I realized, like, the moment I couldn't have them on base anymore, it almost made me feel like
I've lost.
So I'm trying to just reset myself a little bit. This whole past season, I was resetting myself, trying to back off them, because it's like I already do all the scouting I need. I find all these sheds. I'm in those areas. I don't need a camera to tell me what's going on. I know from the previous years and, being actually on the ground, seeing what it looks like. I just got to go with my instincts. I just got to get better at that. I just relied on cameras too much for a while. Yeah,
it's easy to do too, right? Yeah. And it almost takes like the fun out of hunting sometimes, because you're like, oh, there's nothing on camera.
Yeah.
There's nothing on this camera. Well, lo and behold, they're skirting that camera.
Yeah. I mean, it happens too.
Right.
Battle Axe was the prime example of that. Like, I had 20 cameras where that deer lived. I did not get one trail cam picture of him until December 18th.
Were you almost discouraged with that? Like, oh,
he was dead. I thought he was dead. I mean, there's no way. I mean, on these same scrapes he's always on, all this just gone. And it wasn't until I started moving cameras just like 10, 15 feet away from trees that they had been on that he was skirting around them. And I was just like...
Did it change your thought on deer?
It changed everything how I was hunting that deer, and that's probably why I didn't get him. Because I was just relying on the cameras, and he was there the whole time. He was just avoiding my cameras. And that irks me still to this day over that, because that year that he avoided him was the biggest he ever was, with that big drop top. Remember I showed you the picture? Oh. And that whole year he was there the whole time, doing everything he'd been doing, just avoiding cameras, which is crazy to me to think, because I had so many cameras out there. But, I mean, he's, in the years prior, like, he's seen the flashes of cameras, never on those cameras again. So I think out of all the cameras I had out there, he's seen them there. And he's seen them, and he just walked right around them after that point, after he'd been on them once or twice.
Which is really strange. I mean, so he was still close to the cameras, but it's like he knew what they were doing, which is weird that you would go around them.
Well, and I also think that plays into, like, when I go to check them and I do things with them, like, I mean, I hunted them for 4 or 5 years. I mean, out of all the times I've went to check those cameras or put those cameras up, I know multiple times he had to been watching me. That's probably all it is. Like, he just knew that I came to those things and something about those things weren't, just freaked him out.
Instinct, man.
Yeah. Had to have. I mean, avoid that many cameras all the way till December 18th, and I was tagged out with bucks that year. And after I tagged out with bucks, I got the picture of him, and I was just like, I got 2 weeks left to hunt, and it's just like,
not this year, buddy.
And he's still here. Yeah.
Man, yeah, that's insane to think, though. I mean, because it's very easy. Like, technology, look at just about anything. We rely heavily on technology for things, and it really can take the fun out of it. But it also can, be detrimental to your woodsmanship skills because you just remove yourself from those because you do everything, right? So right now you're trapping. So the season realistically never really ends. You're always in some capacity in the woods. And I think that's, again, leads to why you're so successful and we're not talking about just shooting deer in general, but like good, really mature deer all over.
Yeah.
I mean,
I will say cameras have helped me significantly in out-of-state hunts.
No doubt.
Sell cameras, put them in other states, like, I figured out a couple of states that, like, I just know I have to be there within these 4 days. I'm going to get shot at a big buck.
Really?
It's just me being there.
So you've even got those like dates and everything. Hey, I'm going to be here at this time.
Yeah. The last 3 years in New York on that state line I've been hunting, killed the deer within 2 days of each other the last 3 years in a row. November 2nd, November 3rd, and November 2nd. So they just, once you figure out like when they're coming through those areas, and because there's so many choke points up there, there's terrain, there's real big woods hunting. Like,
right.
You can actually put your woodsmanship to like
the test
use up there. Yeah. And then once you find all that and where it all comes together, it's just sitting there. And that's where a lot of people mess it up, is like, I will put in 3 days. I will hunt from 5 a.m. in the morning till dark, 3 days in a row in that area. So like not getting out of the tree.
Yeah, you're
bringing
just
my snacks, and I'm in it.
Yeah, I mean, and do you know? I mean, whenever you get like that kind of history, right? So do you like, okay, every year I know I can be within this same area, this same tree?
It's helped. I mean, it's been like that the last 3 years now. So.
Well, that's like I've got my cousin in Kentucky. He's got a friend or an acquaintance up there who kills really good deer, like monsters every year. And the dude's like, man, like time frame and this tree.
Yeah.
I'm every year.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
that's the same thing on base too. But the problem is like certain areas are just not open during those times. Like I've had areas on base that I know if I'm in that tree during those dates, I'm going to run into
something good,
a big one.
Yeah.
But to have all the stars align there, and that's another reason why it's so hard to hunt it. You can't hunt it whenever you want.
Right.
It's when it's open. And so a lot of the times that all those deer really move in some of those core areas on base, the areas aren't open. So I just have to hope for the next year. And it's like,
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, that's a struggle that we hear from everybody. It's like, man, I've got this awesome area laid out, and it's like, yeah, sorry, not open at prime times.
And that's the other thing I tell people on base all the time. It's like, you can't just have one area or two areas.
Right.
That's the reason why I'm in the woods so much. Is like, you have to have places in every area. If you don't, maybe the time you have to go hunt, you're now trying to explore this new area that you've never stepped foot into, and that's not the time to do it during deer season.
Yeah.
Times now, like January, February, March. You put the time in now, and it's like, hey, I've been in this area before. I found beds here. I found something here. It gives you a starting point. At least. You just need a starting point. You don't want your starting point to be, you've got your bow or gun, whatever it is, and we're going to this area right now, and this is our starting point.
Well, that's the thing. That's a lot of people. I think that's where the educational side comes in, and I think that comes to everybody that gets into hunting. It kind of starts that way. It's like, you just go in the woods. I got this thing and I'm going to get it done. And then over a year or so, you start to realize, hey man, it requires a little bit more effort on my part prior to this. What do I need to do? I need to backtrack and figure out how things work out here.
Yeah. I mean, I've had so many people over the years message me like, how do you do it? How do you do it? I like to classify myself as a good hunter and like woods, like in all this. And like, I'm not seeing deer, dude. Like, how do you do it here? And it's like, just time in the woods and figuring out the deer, because it's not like deer out west or up in the north. These deer are just, I don't know, they're so different.
Dude, they're so skittish. They're
so skittish. And I mean, you also got to think there's not many states that still allow dog hunting. So, and that's a factor as well. And it is huge where we're at.
Well, not only that, it's all year because there's trials, they're training, they're running.
It never ends for them.
It never ends. So there's that constant pressure in a lot of these places where we are specifically. So yeah, it's a constant challenge. What else we got? Anything else that we missed? What's major when it comes to like postseason for you? Anything else?
Man, I think that's really about everything when it comes into after season. I mean, like I don't call it postseason.
Right.
I know you're calling.
We got to classify it as something for people.
I know people call classify it as postseason, but this is like the start of the season for me.
Right.
Just because this is what like starts everything for the next year, and like I take a couple months off for the summer, spring and summer, but like now is right, where they're at in August, September time frame. So you put in the time now to find where they're at now, and you mark those places. When you come back in August, September, from a distance, try to class those areas or just see if those deer are coming out from the area, that you last left them a couple months ago. And you'll see, it's the case. I mean, they'll come right out of the same areas that you left them at in January, February, March.
That's it. So the season starts now. So if you had a bad season previous, it's time to get in the woods right now and start taking action and creating a plan and compiling that hit list, or at least locating deer so that you have a more successful season this coming up year.
Yeah, you just got to get out in the woods and just figure out new areas and figure out the deer, figure out the patterns. If you're not in the woods, you're not going to figure out everything from your phone. You can only get so far from your technology. You got to put boots on the ground. Boots on the ground
are where it's at, man. Yeah. But I also think you got to find joy in it.
Yeah. So I mean, if you don't, then you're not gonna. It's just not your cup of tea.
Right. No, you've got to find ways to make it fun, and whether that's if you're a parent, getting the kids out there with you, doing it, or just challenge yourself, setting little goals. I think to maybe understand terrain better. Learn about their habits. And a big thing for me is learning the different vegetation, trees. Yeah. Acorns, all the different things that they feed on, learning those, being able to identify them. And I think with goals, that does make it a little bit easier to continue to pursue this thing.
I think you make a good point with the kids thing. I mean, getting the kids in the woods.
It makes it way more fun.
That's what I do. My daughter, she went trapping with me. She will not miss checking traps. She will not miss any opportunity that I go out in the woods.
That's another good point you make there.
And I enjoy that. I enjoy that she wants to be there, and I will gladly take her out. Both of my girls, Everly and Grayson, they found a pile of sheds each. No help from me.
Yeah, no, that's
just me taking them out there and putting them in the right areas and saying, they're out here, go find me some.
Right.
And they do. They know what they're looking for, and they enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, and you do a good job too with, obviously like you doing your, whether we call it postseason or your season starts now, but you're trapping. So, for, possums and raccoons and beavers and all these other things. So you're constantly in there and you're doing something. And while you're in it, you're able to pick up on these other things, which makes it fun.
Yep. And like the area that I had my traps in that we just checked this morning, didn't catch anything this morning. But this is the first year I've been on this property, and there was a ton of predators out there. So I just wanted to try to get some of the predators taken out because there's a bunch of turkeys there, but it's so thick, nasty stuff. They really can't. The predators do some damage. I've noticed over this past year being there, I found quite a few dead turkeys. And I think 2 days ago while we were checking the traps, I seen a flock of almost 50 turkeys out there. And it just got me so excited because it's like, they're here.
Right.
And it just makes me want to go out there and try to get some more, predators out of there for them to hope that they can grow even bigger. So, maybe I get some more kids out there to get their first turkeys this spring.
That's it, man. So giving back. I like it.
Yeah.
So that's it, guys. You got to find some joy in this, man. It doesn't need to be a chore or a task that you just have to do. It's got to be fun. And if you can find ways to make it fun, and set goals, it's ultimately going to set you up for success for the following season. So, well, that's it, my friend Ryan. We're at almost an hour and 15 minutes. So
Been a pleasure, Zach.
Dude, I appreciate it, man. You're, like I said, a wealth of knowledge. We're definitely going to have you and Joe Long on together so we can talk about that story of, tracking that one deer.
We got it.
I know there's good ones. Joe's been talking about it forever. So
the one that fell out of the tree and came out, dragged out the deer. There's that one too. That's a whole nother one. There's tons.
Yeah, it's good, man. So a wealth of knowledge, man. Obviously a very successful hunter. I mean, not just hunter, but trapper, fisherman, whatever you want to call it, just an outdoorsman. And just, your woodsmanship skills, I think, are, up there with the best. So I appreciate you, sharing the knowledge, taking the time to sit down with us and, laying it out for everybody.
Absolutely.
So cool. Well, that's it, guys. That's another episode of the American Bow Hunter, the official podcast of PSE. If you've got questions, comments, drop them below. We'll take a look and answer them in the upcoming episodes. So appreciate you guys following along, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.